everyone, welcome back to Wizarding Alice. My name is Alice. On this channel we cover all things Harry Potter, Wizarding World, with a bit of Scotland travel lifestyle thrown in there as well, so if that sounds like something that interests you, be sure to subscribe below. Today on this channel we're actually doing something a little bit different, and I thought it would be fun to do a get to know you tag because I have been doing YouTube now, I was going to say almost a year, it's not really, it's been like 6 months or something, and I've never really properly introduced myself or really explained anything about myself. I've just kind of gone in and been like, hi, I'm Alice, I like Harry Potter, and that's pretty much all this channel's ever been. So I thought it would be fun today to kind of slow things down, take a step back, and I would do a get to know you tag. I've got the questions here on my laptop, and I've kind of amalgamated them from just questions I thought would be interesting to answer and general get to know you tags that exist throughout the internet. I mean, they were like all the rage in like 2012 YouTube, so there were a lot of questions out there. So I would love to know, I'm obviously going to be answering these. I'd love for you to maybe answer them in the comments below because I'd really like to get to know the people that watch my videos as well, so feel free to answer these. But yes, let's get into the first question. Okay, this isn't really the first question, but since it's basically a get to know you tag, hi, my name is Alice. I think that's a good place to start. You can probably tell based on the name of this channel that, or I guess it's down there, that my name is Alice. So yeah, that's the first one. But the first proper question is, where were you born? So I was born in Edinburgh, the very centre of Edinburgh, which is obviously the capital of Scotland. So I am Scottish, also consider myself British at the same time. I still live in Edinburgh. I think it's the best city in the world. I think a lot of people think that about the city that they're from, but I really, really do love Edinburgh. I think it's an amazing place and I highly recommend coming to visit if you're ever able to. I think it's just an amazing city, and if you ever are coming to visit, let me know because I can definitely recommend some places to go and things to do and stuff like that. So the next question is, what is your personality type? And I definitely added this one in myself because I am obsessed with Myers-Briggs personality types. I just think they're fascinating. I think they're so accurate. Definitely recommend doing it. I think there's a website, is it called 13 Personalities or something like that? And it does it for you and it explains your results and things like that. I'm obsessed with personality types, so it's quite interesting. When I was in high school was the first time I did it, and I was an ENTJ, which means extroverted. I can't remember exactly what they all mean. And then after high school I did it again and I changed to an INTJ, which meant I was the same, but I changed from extroverted to introverted, which I think was definitely true and definitely reflective of my personality at the time. But that was a long time. It's been a long time since high school. So I did it again recently and I've now changed to an ISTJ, which I definitely think is accurate to my personality 100%, and I've actually written down what it means. So it's the logistician personality type is what it's called. The defining characteristics are integrity, practical logic, and tireless dedication to duty. So we uphold traditions, rules, and standards. So we tend to do well in like regulatory bodies, military, police, that kind of thing. And we enjoy taking responsibility for our actions and take pride in our work. We don't hold back time or energy in order to complete a task. And we've got a lot of patience and we focus on accuracy as well. We don't make assumptions. We'd like to analyze, check the facts, and then have a practical solution for it. We rely on facts. We have little tolerance for indecisiveness and lose patience quickly. And we don't like things that are really time consuming. And within that you can be a turbulent type, or I can't remember what the other type is, but I'm the turbulent subtype of that personality type. And it says stability is really important. I need to find consistency in my life all the time. I like having a sense of security and safety, and I crave feeling settled in, but I can struggle to feel that way because of perfectionist tendencies. Things rarely seem good enough to them and they have difficulty experiencing satisfaction. And I'm telling you something, that is me as I am right now to a T. I love rules and order. I like having restrictions in order to do things. That's why I don't really enjoy, for example, being given a bit of paper and a pen and saying like, I'm being told to like create something. Like, I like having rules, which is why I really like editing, because it's a way to be creative but within boundaries that you have to follow. I'm really type A, really neurotic. I like things to be a certain way. I like knowing what's coming. I don't like surprises. I don't like being spontaneous. So that was maybe a very long answer, but that gives you a bit of a sense of who I am, I guess. I've then put what is your star sign, because I thought that was a nice like juxtaposition to the one before. I don't believe in star signs, but I do think it's fun. I see why people are into it. But my star sign is Cancer, because I was born in June. Summer, yay. And the main characteristics of that, again, I had to look it up because I'm really not into this kind of stuff, but it's loyal, protective, intuitive, caring, overly sensitive, moody, and vindictive. So I thought that was interesting. I mean, there's certainly some traits there that I relate to, but I would argue that all the star signs have traits you can relate to, so I don't know. But anytime I see anyone do anything online about like ranking star signs, Cancer's always at the bottom, so obviously we're not liked very much. I was supposed to be a Gemini, I'm pretty sure, but I wasn't born on my like due date, so I became a Cancer instead. What did you study at school? So obviously I did the Scottish educational system, and some people might not know that the Scottish system and the English system are different. Scotland has its own unique education system. So I did that. So some of these might not make 100% sense, but generally speaking, in first and second year of high school, you just study everything. You don't get to pick, you just study a bit of every subject. And then in third and fourth year, you get to choose the subjects you want to study, but within certain rules. So you have to take 2 sciences, for example, you have to take English and maths, stuff like that. So in third and fourth year, I studied English and maths. Enjoyed English, didn't enjoy maths, and I chose biology and chemistry. Really enjoyed biology, hated chemistry. I also chose computing studies, which I did enjoy. It was a lot of like coding and stuff like that. In hindsight, I probably would have chosen like business admin instead, in regards to having I really wanted to have some kind of computing qualification, because I thought that would be really useful to have. But computing studies, I then chose PE, so you had to do a certain amount of PE in school, but I chose to do additional PE on top of that. And then I chose modern studies, which I think is a Scotland specific subject, but everyone's got some equivalent. So it's a combination of politics, sociology, all that kind of stuff, modern studies, and I chose history as well. And then across 5th and 6th year, you then study certain subjects, but like to a much higher level. Like you can, depending on what level you're at, you can study some at the equivalent of like first year at university, or maybe like a little bit below that. So I did a combination, but I did psychology, which I loved. Modern studies, that's the one I did at like basically university level, but while you're still in school. I loved modern studies. History, geography, business management, English, and philosophy, and I actually really enjoyed all those subjects. I didn't love English, I was like okay at it, but I didn't love it, but anyway. And then what did you study at university? So I went to Heriot-Watt University, which is kind of near the Edinburgh airport, so it's kind of like just out the city a bit. It's a really nice campus, it's super green. I have talked about Heriot-Watt before. It's like a super STEM-y university, so it's got like a world-leading robotics department and a big thing for like physics and all the sciences, and it's really into like technology and stuff like that. But I did psychology and business there. It was like a joint degree, so in America you basically say that psychology was my major and business was my minor, so that's kind of how I did it. Really enjoyed it. I really liked being at Heriot-Watt. That was like a good university for me to choose. In hindsight, I chose psychology and business because they were 2 subjects I was really good at, and I thought they would be really employable, and they definitely are. That having these subjects has definitely helped me in my career. In hindsight though, I kind of wish I'd just gone for something like that I really loved, like history would have been a good option, or like sociology or anthropology, that kind of thing. But I didn't want to choose them because I thought they weren't as employable, and in hindsight now I kind of wish I'd just gone for it, but I did really enjoy studying that. And then I did a master's degree at the University of Edinburgh, and I did it in criminology and criminal justice, and I loved that. That was like the best year of my life. I had the best time at the University of Edinburgh. That was so much fun. But I'm definitely an academic person. Like, if I could go back and do another 10 degrees, I totally would. What is my favourite colour? Let's make things a little bit lighter now. I would say it does change a lot, but I am a big fan of millennial pink. I know it's like a total cliche as a millennial, but I really do like a really nice dusty kind of pink colour. I also really like mustard yellow. That is a big favourite of mine. The combination of mustard yellow and grey, like, I'm just obsessed with it. I absolutely love it. What is your favourite food? Now, this was a tough one. Salted popcorn has consistently been my favourite food for a long time. I love salted popcorn. It's genuinely the one thing I can't control myself around. If I know there's some in the house, I will eat it. It could be 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't care, I'm eating it. Like, I cannot. And if we had, I don't know, a massive vault of popcorn, I would eat it all. I can't stop until it's all gone. So that's probably, if I was pressed, I'd probably say salted popcorn. But I am also a huge fan of chips and curry sauce, which again, I think it's just like a British thing. I haven't sort of come across it anywhere else, but like chips and chip shop curry sauce or Chinese curry sauce, like, oh, again, I love it. I get like so excited when I know I'm gonna eat it. So that's a big favourite. And I do also love a bit of chicken tikka masala with garlic naan. Chef's kiss. Love it. What is my favourite drink? Now, this is a tough one because I'm not a big like drinks person. I struggle enough to drink water, let alone anything else. But I do really like smoothies in general. Like, if I go somewhere and a smoothie's on offer, I'll pretty much get it. I think they taste amazing. Properly freshly squeezed orange juice is really good as well. Like, when you can tell they've actually just got the orange and squeezed it. Oh, love it. Any kind of like fruit juice. I'm also a big fan of Lilt, but you can barely get it anywhere nowadays. At Harry Watt, that was like the only place that sold it, so I had it all the time. But you rarely see it like in a shop, but if it's there, I'll get it. So I do like a Lilt. Now, the next question is, what is your favourite film? And this was a really tough one because I'm not sure I necessarily have like the one film I'll talk about. Again, if I was pressed, I would probably say Coherence, which I think is a film not a lot of people know about, but I think it's amazing. So it's a short film. I think it's like barely an hour, and it's like a bit of an indie film, and it's completely improvised. So the actors had no idea what was coming next. So any conversations they have, anything they're talking about is completely improvised. And at the start of each acting day, a couple of them would be pulled aside by the producer or the director and would be told certain key facts about their character and would be told, like, you've got to try and work that into the conversation. So that was how the plot would kind of drive forward, by having these characters or the actors think like, right, well, today I've got to make sure I get at least these messages across to people. But when they would tell everyone, all the other actors, like a big piece of information, this was the first time all the actors were hearing it, so they had no idea. And it's a bit sci-fi. It's one of those films you have to watch like 15 times and to catch all the little details and things. I just think it's amazing. I highly recommend checking out Coherence. Other films I really enjoy, Catching Fire is one of my favourite films. I'm a huge Hunger Games fan, like always have been. Read the books before the films came out. Be a bit of a hipster there, who got there first. 10 Things I Hate About You, that's an amazing rom-com. I absolutely love that. I could go on all day about films that I enjoy. I'm also a huge Marvel fan. I have mentioned that on this channel before. Some of my favourites, I've written them down. Endgame, of course, was just amazing. That was like one of my favourite cinema going experiences. Spider-Man No Way Home is a new favourite. As someone who's enjoyed all the Spider-Man films that have ever been, that was really cool. Thor Ragnarok, I think that's always on everyone's list. It's just amazing. And Black Widow, I was really pleasantly surprised by as well. I didn't think I was going to like that one as much, but it was amazing. So those are probably my favourite Marvel films. Some of my favourite TV shows include WandaVision. That was like the best TV watching experience of my life. Like, every week watching WandaVision, I was so excited for each episode the whole week. It's probably the only show where I was like anticipating the whole week the next episode, so I loved that. Glee was like my high school show. Throughout the whole of high school I was a massive Gleek. I had a Twitter account dedicated to Glee. I had a Tumblr account. I had 2 Tumblr accounts dedicated to Glee. Like, I knew everything about Glee. So that's another, it's not my favourite now, but I always have to include it in my list because it's got like a special place in my heart. Arrested Development is also one of my favourite shows. I think it's so funny. I think it's so clever. I genuinely think it's the smartest show on TV, and you can fight me all you want. It's the smartest show on TV. Parks and Rec is like my comfort TV show. I love Parks and Recreation. Like, I'll put it on if I'm having a bad day or I just need to fall asleep to something comforting. It's just so cozy. Someone said it's like what goes on inside a Labrador's mind, and I think that's 100% spot on. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is another one like that. I don't think it's anywhere near as well written, well acted, well done as Parks and Rec, but again, is a really nice comfort show to just have on in the background. So the next question is, what is your favorite holiday destination? And I'm gonna sound like a total cliche, but I think it has to be Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida. I've only been once, but it was like the best holiday ever. There's something about Disney parks, you just become completely carefree. Like, once you're there, everything's sorted, everything's done. You can just relax, just enjoy the rides, enjoy the weather, enjoy the food. Like, I love it. I would go back in a heartbeat if I could. So I'd say that's probably my favorite holiday destination. But I also really like London. You know, I go to London quite a lot. If you want like a city break, I don't think you could do much better than London. It's amazing. I also really enjoy going up to Aviemore in the Highlands as well. That's somewhere I went a lot as a child, so I really enjoy that. And Paris, again, Disney. Love going to Disney parks. So yeah, they're probably my favorite places to go on holiday. Oh, and Centre Parks. I love Centre Parks as well. My favourite country, I mean, it's got to be Scotland. I do really love Scotland. I mean, it's got a lot of flaws and a lot of issues, which I can certainly go into one day if you'd like me to. I am in no way saying that we are the most perfect country, but I love Scotland. You know, you go up to the Highlands and you've got these insane massive mountains and huge lakes, and it's just so dramatic, and we've got all these islands. We've got, I can't even remember how many islands we've got, but we've got like an insane number of islands, like you wouldn't even realize. And then you go over to the west coast and it's beautiful, and you've got like palm trees. I'm not saying it's hot, but you've got palm trees, and you've just got the most beautiful landscapes going down into Loch Lomond and the Trossachs, and then going across the east coast where I live, and you've just got the most beautiful coast you could possibly imagine. We've really got a combination of everything. We've got forests, beaches, mountains. We've got no major weather types, so we don't get earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, we don't have volcanoes, so we're nice and safe. I really do like the weather, and people always say like, oh, it's always grey and rainy, and we kind of like play into that joke as well, but that's not true at all. We've got a lovely, you can't see, but it's a lovely sunny day today. We get all weather types, we get all seasons really strongly, so we get, some countries wouldn't think so, but we get like hot summers, we get snowy cold winters, we get crunchy leaves in the autumn, we get beautiful sunny weather in the spring. So I love Scotland, I really do. Who is your favourite celebrity? This is tough. There would be certain celebrities that I would pretty much like worship, and I would follow everything they did, and my whole life would be surrounded by that. It was like back in high school when I had like 2 Glee accounts, you know what I mean? Like, I would become obsessed with people and it would become like my whole life. Post high school, I've definitely made a very concerted effort to make that less of my life. I don't think that's healthy. I think most celebrity figures just end up disappointing you, and that's not a dig. I just think they're never going to be who you picture they are in your head. So I don't do that anymore. So I don't have celebrities that I'm properly like, oh, I follow their every move and things like that. But I do really enjoy Ariana Grande. I love her music. I think she's a really cool person. So if I was pushed, I'd say her. I think she's awesome. I'd love to see her in concert sometime. And I really enjoy the Kardashians as well. I really do. They're very problematic, I'll admit that, but I think they're also very admirable people in terms of what they've turned their lives into. So I really like that. Where is somewhere you would really like to visit? Well, one main thing for me, my sort of goal in life, is to visit all 7 continents if I can. So I've obviously been to Europe, I live in Europe, and I've been to North America as well, because I've been to New York twice and I've been to Florida. I'd really like to, I know it's not a continent, but I'd like to go to Central America. I'd really like to go to Mexico. I think that would be amazing. In terms of South America, I'd love to go to the rainforest. I think that would be really, really cool. So, you know, Brazil or maybe Peru would be really cool. I'm hopefully going to Japan in the near future, so that'll take Asia off the list. Although I would really like to go to India as well, because I love Indian food. I'd love to go to New Zealand for Oceania. That would be amazing. I really want to go to Egypt or Morocco. And then there's obviously Antarctica as well, which would maybe be a little bit more difficult. Oh, another place I would really like to visit as well is actually in England, and I can't remember the name of the place, but it's like a big wilderness reserve. It's kind of part zoo, part reserve, and they've got like lions, for example, that have like massive, it's like a lion in a cage, but the cage is like ginormous. It's more like a savannah that they can roam about in, and what they've done is they've put a lodge that you can stay in the lion enclosure with like massive windows, so you stay there and like lions come up to your window and things, and there's a tiger one, a wolf one, like there's all sorts. It's so expensive. I'm not sure I'm ever going to be able to stay there, but I really, really, really want to stay there. I think that would be so cool. Next question, what are some of your interests? So aside from obviously Harry Potter and YouTube and generally social media and stuff like that, I'm a massive Tudor history fan. I don't really know why, it's just always been a time period that's really interested me. A little while ago, like a couple of years ago, I got really into it and I learned like every detail about Tudor life, all the Tudor monarchs, the War of the Roses, all of that kind of thing. Like I knew everything. I've obviously forgotten most of it now, but I'm a huge Tudor history fan. Quite often sign up for online courses about specific Tudor things. Love going to see Tudor houses and places like that when I'm on holiday. So yeah, big Tudor history fan. I'm also a big fan of musical theatre. I used to do amateur dramatics. I started off doing acting and then realised I much preferred the behind the scenes like stage management, script writing kind of side of things, so I did that a lot. And now I don't do that anymore, but I do go and see musical theatre as much as possible. Anytime we're in London, we'll typically go and see something, and Edinburgh gets a lot of touring productions. We've got a big theatre industry in Edinburgh, so go and see things as much as possible. Some of my favourites are, well, I really like Hairspray, although when I went to see it live I did not enjoy that particular production of it, but love Hairspray. Hamilton was obviously amazing. Wicked's definitely the one I've been to see the most. Heathers was one recently I was blown away by, might be my new favourite, so yeah, love musical theatre. Another thing I really enjoy, which might come as a bit of a surprise, is like spooky paranormal stuff. I've been on several ghost tours. I've done the Ghost Bus tour in Edinburgh. I watch so many like ghost sighting videos, paranormal stuff. I don't know if I necessarily believe any of it, but I'm a big fan of it. I love horror films. I can quite easily just drift off to sleep with a horror movie on in the background. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. I don't get like scared by them, but I do love them. And I do love the feeling of like that little thrill of seeing something scary. It's like other people with roller coasters or jumping out of a plane. Like for me, it's watching scary stuff. So in terms of what are some of my hobbies, it kind of leans into that a bit, but one of my hobbies is definitely reading. It's become a bit of a new hobby for me. I was a big reader as a child, and then obviously going into high school and then university, I think a lot of people's interest in reading kind of deteriorates because you spend so much of your time reading textbooks and journal articles and things like that, that the last thing you want to do is carry on reading. But recently I've really found a passion for that again, so I really, really do enjoy reading. I also really like woodland walks. I'm lucky to live near lots of woodlands, and I find that a really relaxing thing to do. If I've maybe got a free day on the weekend, just go for a nice walk in the sunshine in a woods. There's something about it that just really relaxes me. The next question is, what is your dream job? And it would definitely be, I don't know specifically what it is, but it would definitely be something where I can run and organize things myself, which definitely fits into the personality question before. But I really like being in control of things. I like being able to make my own schedules and agendas and lists and not have to rely on other people to get those done. I like following the timeline that I've set out for myself. So anything where I was kind of maybe in control of my own department or section or company or something like that, I think is definitely something I would enjoy. I think I'd enjoy being self-employed, or as I say, having some level of management and leadership over something for sure. The next question, yes, we're not done, is what is your biggest pet peeve? And for me, it would definitely be anyone that is slow. And by that, I mean slow walkers or slow drivers specifically, but anything where people take a long time to get something done. When you're stuck behind a slow walker, it fills me with so much rage. It's not healthy, honestly, especially when they like basically are walking on a way in the pavement that you can't get around them, and they're like absolutely dawdling. Like, if you want to walk slow, move to the side. I'm like suppressing what I really want to say right now. It annoys me so much. And same when I'm driving. You wouldn't believe the amount of people who basically dangerously cut in front of you. They could have waited for you to get past before pulling onto the road, but no, they dangerously cut in front of you and then go at like 20 miles an hour. Oh, my blood boils. I hate it. Okay, so the last question is, what are some of your favorite YouTube channels? I thought this would be a really nice one to end on, just to kind of go through some suggestions. Perhaps once you're done with this video, you can go and see some of them. And again, I'd really love to know what some of your favorite channels are. So I've created a list here. Sorted Food is a big favorite of mine, British cooking channel, but they kind of take interesting twists on food and do challenges and stuff. Really enjoy them. That's kind of a new channel for me that I really like. Scary Game Squad, I love. They're a group of friends who play horror movies together, and it's just so much fun. Their commentary is always absolutely hilarious. Love that channel. All Ears is another favourite of mine. They cover the Disney parks, news, updates, things like that in so much detail. They're a really good channel to watch if you're going to be going to a Disney park soon, specifically Walt Disney World, and want tips and tricks and things like that. And Molly from Molly is just like maybe my favourite YouTuber. I absolutely love her. On that note, Adam Hatton is another favourite of mine. I love watching his Disney trips. I think he covers them in a really fun, exciting, interesting way. I think his videos always look really nice and really well put together, so I really enjoy his channel too. GeoWizard is another favourite. He plays GeoGuessr and he is amazing at it. He's kind of moved on. He does like his straight line missions where he tries to cross Wales, for example, in a completely straight line. His mission across Europe were really fun. I love all the content that he puts out there. Ambient Worlds is another favourite. So what they do is they put like sounds and landscapes and ambience together with movie soundtracks. So they do a lot of Harry Potter ones. Quite often put them on when I'm working, and it makes you feel like you're in the common room or the Great Hall or out in Hogsmeade and things like that. That is 100% my favourite YouTube channel. Cannot recommend visiting them enough. And to just quickly go through a couple others I really enjoy, Mike's Mike, Claudia Amendola, Emma Cruises, Schaefer-Ellis Productions, Flying the Nest, Your Internet Mom Ash, and Theme Park History and Defunctland are a couple others I really enjoy. But that is it for all my questions. So hopefully you feel like you know me a little bit better. If you have any follow-up questions or want me to expand on something or explain something further, I'd be happy to do that. But I really wanted to get this video out so you kind of feel like you know who's running the channel a little bit better, rather than me just being this face who talks about Harry Potter stuff all the time. So really hope you enjoyed it. As I said, I definitely want to know your answers to some of these questions in the comments below, so be sure to put your answers. I would love to read them. And don't forget to like and subscribe as well, because I've got some really fun videos coming up in the near future. And until then, I will see you next time. Bye!